All right, factoring polynomials with a leading coefficient that's not equal to 1. So it's very, very similar to the way that we factor if the polynomial has a leading coefficient of 1, but this one has a leading coefficient of 2. So what I'm going to get you to do is you're going to take the leading coefficient, multiply it by the constant term. So 2 times 5 gives me 10. All right? And then I'm looking for something that adds to give 7. So I'm looking for a number that multiplies to give 10, adds to give 7. Well, in this case, that's 5 and 2. Now, normally you would just write x plus 5, x plus 2, be done with it. That's not the case when you have a leading coefficient. With the leading coefficient, I'm going to show you a little trick right here that works every single time. But please pay attention. You're going to take the 2x from there. So whatever your leading coefficient is, you put 2x. And then you're going to use your 5, so 2x plus 5. And then you're going to go 2x and then plus 2. Do not set that equal to 0. This is not a correct polynomial. Do not set it equal to 0. Now what you need to do is check each one and see what they're divisible by. Well, 2 and 5, they're not divisible by anything, so that one's going to stay the same, 2x plus 5. This one, they're both divisible by 2, so we're going to divide it by 2. So that gives me a factor of x plus 1. Now we can set these equal to 0. That is your factors. Okay, so now we take 2x plus 5, set it equal to 0 to solve, x plus 1 equals 0, solve that one, you end up with x equals negative 1 right there. Here you need to subtract 5, 2x equals negative 5, divide by 2, x equals negative 5 over 2, and x equals negative 1. That would be your solution. So let's look at another problem together. So let's try something like that. 3x squared plus x minus 10 equals 0. So again, take your leading coefficient, multiply it by your constant term. So you get negative 30. Well, it has to add to give the middle term, which is a positive 1. All right, try to figure out your factors that multiply to give negative 30 and add to give 1 real quick. Hit pause and do that. All right, hopefully you figured out the numbers that you're looking for are 6 and 5. But to get the positive 1, you need a positive 6 and a negative 5. Okay? So the next step, you have to use the 3x. We're going to do 3x plus 6. 3x minus 5. Again, do not set those equal to 0. Divide by what they have in common. This one has a 3 in common. That one doesn't have anything in common, so we leave it alone. 3 divided by 3 is just 1, so it's just an x. 6 divided by 3 is a positive 2. And then we have our 3x minus 5. Now you can take it and set it equal to 0. That is your factors. Now you solve. So x plus 2 equals 0. So x equals negative 2. 3x minus 5 equals 0. Add 5. 3x equals 5. Divide by 3. 5 over 3. So x equals 5 over 3. X equals negative 2. Done. All right, I'm going to give you a problem so you can work out on your own, and then I'll work it out with you. Well, fun little trip right there. All right, there's your problem. I want you to try that one on your own, please. Hit the pause button and go ahead and do that. All right, hopefully you've worked that on your own. 4 times 9 is 36. Has to add to give negative 15. That's going to be negative 3 and negative 12. So we write 4x minus 3 and 4x minus 12. That has nothing in common, so we don't need to divide by anything. Here, divide by 4. X minus 3. You can set that equal to 0. Take each term, set it equal to 0. Add 3 to both sides, you end up with x equals 3. Add 3 to both sides, you get 4x equals 3. Then we need to divide by the 4. X equals 3 over 4. Those are your solutions. So that is how you factor with a leading coefficient that's not equal to 1. The two changes are you need to take the leading coefficient, multiply by the constant term to get this number to see what we need to multiply to give that. And then whenever you find your two factors, make sure you put your term here, so 4x and 4x. Okay? If you have any questions, raise your hand, let me know. If not, do the practice problems on your worksheet.